morning. So just getting set up here. So this is Thursday. Happy Thursday. This is the 18th day of November. This is the 39th episode of the Be Your Own Hero Show. No, the 39th episode of season 2 of the Be Your Own Hero Show. This is the 119th episode of the Be Your Own Hero Show all together, which is incredible. So again, today's Thursday. This is Tally Thursday, although I think I'm going to change that theme. And the show, Be Your Own Hero Show, is about the Hero Ministry Movement. Hero is an acronym. It means helping others, helping everyone reach optimism. It means helping others helps you. As you help others, you help yourself. So it's a reciprocal action. And that's part of my effort to inspire and empower the unhoused community. A journey that began for me just about a year ago at the 3rd annual Hoodies for the Homeless event in Nashville, an event that was created by Project Lovestrong. So quick disclaimer, I am not a personal trainer or a financial advisor, so do your own research, do your own due diligence. Shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me this space and this platform to talk about my journey of becoming my own hero. And check me out here, Monday through Friday, 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. That said, let's jump right into the Hero Ministry Movement news. I'm getting better at that. So shout out to the heroes in the chat, the folks watching live. Shout out to Gladys and shout out to Nan. I see you guys in the chat. Appreciate that. And today is day 171 of me running every single day, at least a mile a day, since the first day of June. And 69 days of me running at least a 5K. Wow, so tomorrow is a milestone day for me running 5Ks. Well, at least a 5K, because as you know, I've been running more than 5Ks sometimes if you've been watching the show. Anyway, we got about 16 days left to the 4th annual Hoodies for the Homeless event that was created by Project Lovestrong in Nashville, Tennessee. And my 2 goals, as you know, if you've been watching, are number 1, to complete 500 miles run by me, and secondarily to accumulate $5,000 to donate to these, I'm calling them the Elevating 8 nonprofits. These are 8 nonprofits in 4 different cities that are all contributing to the work that needs to be done in the unhoused community. So those are the 2 goals, getting close to the wire. I am over 460 miles, which is incredible. Pretty incredible. I'm over 460 miles, so I'm ticking on down to 500. And as far as the money goes, yesterday we were in the 1400s and now we're in the 1300s. So these small donations are adding up. Just a reminder, I have issued a challenge, a 10 by 10 challenge. I'm asking 10 people to donate at least $10, and we can chip away at this last little bit of money so that I can donate these monies to the 8 nonprofits. Okay, so just to circle back, in case it wasn't clear, I have done hero drops in more than 4 cities, but there are only, well, I shouldn't say only, there are 4 cities where I've created a relationship of some kind with nonprofits in those cities. So there was a little bit of confusion about the number of cities. So I have done a hero drop in Mississippi, Wallace, Mississippi. There is no nonprofit there as of yet that I'm directly interfacing with, but I did drop off brand new hero merchandise for people in Wallace, Mississippi. Lenora Brown, the team ambassador, well, the hero ambassador, let's call her that, the hero ambassador in Mississippi, took those items to distribute. So that's why it's 4 cities. So there's 3 cities in Nashville, 3 nonprofits in Nashville, 3 nonprofits in Memphis, 1 in St. Louis, and 1 in Louisville. So 4 cities. Okay, just wanted to make that clear. And as you've, I'm sure, noticed, the show has been expanded by 15 minutes, 9:45 start time, still ending at 10:15. I don't know where the time goes. This is my, 4th show with an extra 15 minutes, and I swear it doesn't feel like there's an extra 15 minutes at all. But anyway, I'm sure I'll get the hang of it. All right, so that's it. Just a quick reminder, there are 2 Amazon wish lists. One is for my backpack drops and one is for me. The one for me is still in flux, but the one for the backpack drops is pretty solid. We've got tuna packets, we've got food gift cards, we've got emergency blankets, we got a few different things on there. Again, those things are being sent to me. I'm putting them in my backpack as I go out in the morning for my morning run, and often as I go out in the evenings to do food deliveries for, the food delivery services. So that's a good segue to today's backpack drop story. Okay, so today's backpack drop story is from a few days ago. This was a nighttime drop, so I was doing food deliveries in the evening, and I ran across this gentleman, a white guy, underneath the underpass at Port Authority. So if you don't know New York, Port Authority is the big bus station. So just imagine the big bus station wherever you are. So there's an underpass where the buses drive into the station. He was under that underpass, so protected, directly from any rain, but not from the weather. And he was curled up comfortably in blankets with two white dogs. And he had a sign. This really got me. He had a sign, and the sign said, "Does this hat make me look homeless?" And humor is rare for me to see in this world of working with the unhoused. Again, I haven't been in this space for long, but it's not often that I see humor. Mostly it's various tones of hardship, right? So I think in this moment right now, I'm thinking that what I've obviously decided to do is tell the stories that are unusual. Because yesterday I told the story about the man who was envisioning the future that he wanted, or the present that he wanted. And today I'm telling the story about this man who was expressing humor. So again, his sign said, "Does this hat make me look homeless?" And I thought that was really funny. And I gave him some tuna packets. Oh, and I forgot to mention, he was reading a book. I couldn't tell what the book was about, but that's something I see sometimes, but not often. I've seen some unhoused, both here and in Nashville, reading. And when I see that, I always think, oh, I wish I had another book to give them, which is another reason why I put the book It Works on the Amazon wish list. So I saw that he was reading a book. So I offered him some tuna and a book, and he was very grateful. And he was very grateful and appreciative. He had a really big smile, a warm spirit. He did not give the impression that he was asking for anything. His sign didn't say anything about, giving. He just had that sign about, "Does this hat make me look homeless?" So anyway, I thought it was a pretty cool story, a pretty cool interaction. And I wonder if I'll see him again. So also, that said, shout out to Nan. She has also sent me some of the It Works books off the Amazon wish list. And again, feel free to send me stuff from the Amazon wish list. I should add some more things soon, but it's good to have that continuous influx of things that I can distribute to folks like the man I just described. Okay, so moving on. Let's do our affirmation and start talking about some money stuff. Here's our affirmation. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. I hope you guys are saying that at home out loud so that your subconscious can hear your actual voice saying the words, not mine, yours. So say that out loud. If you didn't do it this time, do it next time, and keep that affirmation with you throughout the day. So I'm going to try doing the resources right now at this point in the show, because usually when I save them for the end, I run out of time. So here's the list of current resources, things that we've covered thus far. We've got my podcast, the Get Rich 101 podcast. I strongly, strongly, strongly urge you to check it out. I can say that freely without any ego because it's not about me. I am reading this book called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Waddles. It was written in 1910, and it is mind-boggling. Right? It is not anything you would expect from a book called The Science of Getting Rich. And it is one of the easiest ways to ingest the book because I'm reading the book out loud and then I'm also offering my commentary about it. And by the way, the other day, I listened to some of my own podcasts as I was jogging, and I was like, there's some good stuff. Just because the book is so good, the science is so good that it really sparks different ideas about wealth and abundance that really have nothing to do with money and have more to do with mindset. Anyway, check it out. Get Rich 101 podcast is available on all the podcasting platforms. You can also just Google it and the website will come up and you can play it from the website right there on your computer. Speaking of which, check out the actual book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Waddles, written in 1910. It's available on Amazon. Some of the language is a little dated and some of the references are a little dated, like references to the train industry, for example, but it's a really good book. Check it out. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Definitely get that book. It will change the way you think about assets and income and how to make money, honestly. And there's this quote that I'll give really quickly. I caught Richard Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, saying this on social media recently. And he said, if you never work for money, you'll be a rich man. You hear that? If you never work for money, you'll be a rich man. And that came about because his rich dad, which was really his best friend's dad, asked him, Richard, to work for him, the neighbor basically, for free, because it's about gaining experience and knowledge. But if you think about working for money, then you become an employee in your mindset. Anyway, it's a really fascinating book. Check it out. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Next up. This is a long title, I know. Giant Beast That Is the Global Economy. I would just search for Giant Beast. This is a TV show. It's available on Prime, and it's hosted by Kumar. He's an actor. He also worked in the Obama administration. And it's about how the global economy works in all these different places. It's very fascinating to look behind the curtain of the economy and not just take it for granted. Especially pay attention to episode 7, which is all about the cryptoverse. Okay, next, 2 shows, Black Mirror and Electric Dreams. These are both fictionalized shows, but they speak to a coming world that is driven by technology. And even though these scenarios depicted in the show may or may not come to pass, it's a good way to expand your mind to the possibilities that seem to be unfolding in real life. Like things like the metaverse, cryptocurrency, and NFTs can be brought into clearer focus by looking at these examples in Electric Dreams and in Black Mirror. So check it out. It's on Netflix. And last but not least, bigmoneycrypto.com. Check out that website. Just take a glance at it every day. Just look at the top lines. It's really user-friendly. Like today, I looked this morning and I saw that Staples Center, the iconic Staples Center in LA, is changing its name to Crypto.com Stadium. Things are happening. The mainstreaming of cryptocurrency and the metaverse and all that stuff is happening now. So pay attention. And that leads me to my next point, actually, which is the fact that we are ahead of the curve. And it may not feel like it. It certainly doesn't feel like it to me. But we are ahead of the curve because we're talking about this pretty much every day, 5 days a week. And so I say that to say I went to a birthday party last night for a friend of mine, and all these things were the hot topics. Cryptocurrency, NFTs, the metaverse, all these things were just the topic du jour, right? But it was skimming the surface, though, for the most part. Like, just kind of barely where, like, for example, people were talking about the apes, that we have talked about here, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, but didn't know that it was called the Bored Ape Yacht Club. So there's this kind of general awareness of these things that are happening, but I think because we are talking about them so frequently, every day, 5 days a week, it's easy to forget that we're on track. Like we're a little bit ahead of the curve in terms of learning this information. So lean into that. Spend some time on Google or YouTube today and just Google some of these terms. NFTs, Bored Ape, I can't say that, Bored Ape Yacht Club, and other things like that to just get further ahead of the curve. And also, something else happened last night that I thought was really interesting. Stock was a topic, and someone mentioned having a very popular stock early on, like in it, like $200, and that stock is now up in the thousands. But he'd sold it when it dipped, and this reminds me of my own 80% rule that I made up, right? Which seems to be really valid. Like you have to buy into a stock that you really believe in. And the way that you believe in it is not by listening to me or listening to somebody else, but by really doing your due diligence, just Googling it at least, just like having a sense of clarity about what you think this stock will do. Because if you have no sense of clarity, when it dips, you'll be like, oh, I got to get out of that. And you'll get out of it. And then you'll turn around one day and look and see it's sky high. Now, that won't happen all the time, but if you really believe in a stock, if you've done your due diligence, if you feel secure that, okay, I think this company will do well, then you won't care when it drops 80%. You'll be like, yeah, it'll be all right. I'm sure it'll rebound because I've read these articles. I watched this documentary. I read this book. Like you have ingested other information that creates your due diligence, that encompasses your full due diligence about that position. So he was really sad about the fact that he had missed out, and you don't want that to happen to you. So decide what your risk brick is. Let's take it back to the bricks. Decide what your risk brick is, and it should be something that you already know something about, that you have some anecdotal knowledge about, or something that you're so interested in that you're willing to do the deep dive and continue to study it. So I don't really have anecdotal information about cryptocurrency, but I've been willing to study it because I find it fascinating. I mentioned on this show many moons ago, it seems like now, that I was applying my anecdotal information to make stock purchases within the automotive industry, because that's an industry in which I've worked. And so I have lots of anecdotal information that can be beneficial. So again, think about the areas where you already have a mass body of information, because you have them just by nature of the fact that you're existing in the world, that you've been doing things in the world. You have amassed knowledge about something. So apply that knowledge. I was talking to a friend of mine recently who is a personal trainer and hasn't invested. And I was saying this, I was describing this, use your anecdotal knowledge. And almost immediately she was able to come up with a company that she knew of, she had extensive knowledge about, and then looked it up, and turns out it's a publicly traded company, and they just hired some more people, and it looks like a really good stock purchase for her because she knows all the players. Like, oh, they just hired this person from that company. I remember when they were doing this other thing. So again, your anecdotal knowledge is indispensable. So apply that to your investment decisions. So again, circling back to the top of this segment, figure out what your risk brick is. And the best thing to do in terms of creating a risk brick is deciding, this is something I am so interested in that I can go down the rabbit hole and just keep going and keep going and keep going and study it and learn it. Or this is something that I have a full body of anecdotal information about, so that I don't have to do research. I already know that company is a part of that company, or that person was doing really well over there, or whatever it is. So that's that. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm good. I think I was so focused about finishing my show ahead of time today that I think I did. I'm just checking my notes. All right. Yeah, I think I'm good. So I'm going to circle back on something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Facebook, which is now Meta. So we've talked about that a little bit before. Facebook has changed its name to Meta. This is its play. Facebook is saying that the metaverse is going to win, and they want to be a big part of that winning. So that is enough of a reason for us to pay attention, because it takes a long time to build a brand, and to change that brand now means that they really believe in this quite a bit. Okay, that said, they are spending literally billions of dollars to build out the metaverse. I should point out at this juncture that they aren't the only people trying to build out the metaverse. There are a lot of people actively building out the metaverse. There are video game companies. There are other big conglomerates. There's a lot of people in this space. So I'm going to focus on the two biggest because they're the ones that we can invest in the easiest. So the easiest thing you could do to invest in the metaverse without even trying to understand what it is exactly is buying a share or fractional shares of Facebook, which is now Meta. So I have been doing that. I started nickel and diming Facebook when it was still Facebook, when they had some kind of snafu in the public and their stock dipped. And I was like, oh, it dipped. It's on sale, which again is a shift in thinking. So if you're in it and you don't believe in it, then that's when you sell. You're like, oh, I don't want anything to do with it. But when you're in it and you believe that they're going to win, then you know it's on sale, or then you think about it in the way that says it's on sale. So I'm thinking Facebook is on sale. It doesn't go on sale that often. Let me get in. So I got in a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. And then I consolidated some of my positions, which is to say I had a number of different stocks. This is on my Cash App, by the way. I had a number of different stocks, and I felt good about all those stocks, but ultimately I had to decide. I guess I didn't have to. I chose to decide which of these stocks is going to do the best, not which of them is going to win. Like I felt like they were all going to win, but which of them is going to win the most? And so Facebook was one of those stocks. And so I closed my position. And just a reminder, closing your position means to sell all shares of an existing stock. So I closed my position on several stocks and bought in more heavily to Facebook, which is now Meta. Then recently, when they changed their name to Meta, I was like, okay, I really want to get a full share now because they're making a lot of moves quickly. There's some specific things that I could point out. I'll do that in a second. But they're making a lot of moves quickly. So what I did is, because I didn't have any extra funds, disposable income to put into the stock market at that time, I went into my Cash App and I did what I call a half sweep. I don't know what it's called out there in the real professional world, but I call it a half sweep. What that means is I took half of the profit that I'd made on my other positions. So if I had, I'm looking around the room, if I had stock in the pillow company and I was up $10, I would take $5 out and leave $5 in, $5 of profit in and take $5 out. And then I did that for all the positions I was up on. And then I took that money that I got from those profits and reallocated that back into Meta, which used to be Facebook. The point here is that you don't have to pull money from your checking account to make moves within the stock universe. You can manipulate what you have there. Like obviously you don't want to use all your profit, but if you feel like it's a good play, like in this case, I think having a full share of Facebook, i.e. Meta, is a good play. So I did that. I took half of the profit. I did half sweep on all my positions that were up, and I reallocated that to Facebook/Meta. And then that got me to within striking distance. And so yesterday, all I had to do was pay $13 to complete a full share of Meta. So I now have a full share of Meta. I'm excited about that because, again, I think they're going to do really well. The other company that I want to point out is Microsoft. Microsoft is going heavy into the universe. Matter of fact, I watched a video recently that you might want to check out. Just go to YouTube and type Metaverse, Facebook, Microsoft. You'll see this video where someone has spliced the announcement video about the Metaverse for Facebook with the announcement video about Metaverse for Microsoft. You see them like kind of cutting back and forth, and you can see for yourself what it is they're doing and what it is they have planned, and it will really crystallize what I am struggling to articulate about what the Metaverse is and how it works. So do yourself a favor and check that out. And also, in terms of investing, Facebook and Microsoft seem to be two companies that are doing big things in the Metaverse. Therefore, those seem to be the easiest ways you can invest in the Metaverse without even understanding what it is before it really blows up. Also, just really quickly, Facebook, i.e. Meta, has just acquired a fitness company. And this fitness company blew up during the pandemic. So you put on your virtual goggles and you pick up your hand controllers and you move around through the universe working out. And so Meta has acquired that company. And so that is a really good move because a lot of people are still at home, still working out at home. Okay, let me play this video. I've been talking about the Elevating 8. I did an interview with Nashville Launchpad. I think I mentioned that, but I wanted to show you, for those of you who have not watched the episode of Living Life in Joy, where I was the guest host and I talked to Brandon, who is representing Nashville Launchpad, which is one of my Elevating 8 nonprofits. I just wanted to show this quick video of him. This is just about 60 seconds. So I just wanted you to see what it is. And then this will inspire you to go watch the whole interview. All right, here we go. All right, just give me 1 second.
Here in Nashville, we don't have too many shelters specifically for that 18 to 24 age group. And so there is a need. So while they're with us, we will help them try to get on their feet. We'll help them try to land a job if they don't have one. Sometimes we'll help them get new identification cards. We'll provide food, meals every day. And then also other nonprofits, because of the work we do, other nonprofits will provide a meal each day. So one nonprofit might provide the Monday dinner, another one the Tuesday dinner. So thankfully, we're able to not just provide all the meals for our guests just alone by ourselves.
Okay, there you go. So that is a quick, brief introduction to Nashville Launchpad, one of the Elevating 8 nonprofits. Feel free to check them out. They were the last nonprofit to get involved with my Hero Charity Run. So please feel free to donate to them directly to catch them up, because as you know, I already made a disbursement to the first 7. So if you want to catch up the 8th nonprofit, Nashville Launchpad, please reach out to them directly. Okay, so I think I'm done on time. So let me close on out. Now it's time for prayer time at 10:15, and then it's time for a sit with Rev Melissa. And you may see me there again saying hi at the end. Until then, keep doing, be a hero, be your own hero, and remember that now is better than perfect. And I'll see you later.